everybody, Jason Bermas here, and we have some good news. We'll see how good it is, because obviously politicians are not to be trusted, but as I have been telling you for quite some time, you are going to have to navigate this. You are going to have to fight for everything going forward. Everything. Okay? Fight for everything or live for nothing. I promise you. Okay? And Iowa has now filed 889. It's been introduced, and it is the anti-boop passport legislation. Now, we're going to read the entire bill here because I think it's important, because the headline, okay, the headline here, it says bill to limit. So when I saw limit initially, I was worried. And actually, I had dinner with Pat Miletich, and we were discussing just kind of this very thing before it happened, and where was this legislation or executive action that shouldn't really have to be taken in the first place. These things are quite illegal, but I do think we have to put it into law to completely ban their use by even corporate entities. Let me make that extremely clear. Ban their use even by corporate entities, okay? So we're talking about this, and then I sent that, and he said the same exact thing to me. This bill is short, okay? Now, I went through it a couple times last night. I didn't really put a huge spectacle on it, but I didn't see anything that was alarming. In fact, most of it, if not all of it, was key. So what we're going to do is we're going to read the bill here. We're going to analyze it. We're going to say what should be added, maybe what should be taken out. But this is what every single state needs to do right now. If your governor's not talking about this, you need to not only make them talk about it, but act on it immediately. Act on it immediately. Folks, I'm going to tell you right now, I realize there are some states that probably don't have a lot of hope. And New York was definitely one of them. It is so bizarre and over the top there that, I have to argue with people about how crazy it is there, okay, how crazy it is there that people actually have to sue and win lawsuits to save their own lives. I'm not even going to read that because we'll get in trouble here. Again, we have to be careful on YouTube, but that's real, okay? That's real. And that's out of Buffalo, New York. Can you imagine living in a state where you have to legislate to try to save your life for about $25? I mean, we're here. We're in total crazy land. All right? So thumbs it up, subscribe, and share. Remember, guys, not only have I been fully demonetized here over a year, we're riding 2 strikes. Because of that word that was in the background, we played some Senate testimony that got banned on YouTube, and then it retroactively affected this channel. They took my channel off. That's true. I've shown it ad nauseum, but they kicked me off a little over 2 weeks ago, and I somehow got it back. I don't know how, but we're here again by the skin of our nuts, and because of the Bermas Brigade, and because of your support. So at the very least, I'm asking you to make that free Rockfin account. And, like last night, we did about a half an hour of Mixed Martial Mindset with John Fitch on all platforms. But the last 20 minutes was a little too spicy. We went over to Rockfin. It's free. Go do it. And then if you do want to financially support me and you're watching YouTube, there's plenty of links below. But the premium Rockfin subscription lets me know that you care about this work. And it gets you everybody's content for $9.99 a month. And there's plenty of great content over there. All right, guys. Without further ado, let's read this bill, okay? And I'm going to say it again. Every single one of your governors needs to do this, and if they are not willing to do this, you probably need to leave. For instance, I'm already seeing people on the quote-unquote left defending Gavin Newsom and saying this is all partisan and actually about Republican power. Folks, if a Democratic governor was acting, a Republican governor was acting in the manner that Gavin Newsom was, I would want the same result, and so would the people of California. That this right-left thing has to stop. It has to stop. It's about authoritarianism. And they've tried to divide even greater during this whole madness. It's kooky. It's crazy. It's not part of reality. And I want to thank the tip here from Sharon over at Rockfin. I do appreciate that. Obviously can't do it on YouTube. Okay, so this is a bill for an act prohibiting the mandatory disclosure of whether a person has received a boop for you-know-what-ski, disqualifying certain entities from receiving state grants or contracts and including effective date provisions. I like that. I like that. Oh, you want to try this? You want to try it? First of all, they should just be banned outright. But excluding them from any kind of state money or contracts is key. Being enacted by the General Assembly of the state of Iowa. Go Iowa. You know, again, a lot of people doubted me. They didn't think I was going to get out of New York. They thought I was bluffing. Or they thought after I'd come home, I'd somehow grifted them. I traveled the country. I thought about it long and hard. I thought about what was best for my family. I thought about what the best school opportunities would be for my nieces. And I suggest all of you out there figure it out and do the same. I mean, nothing is harder than leaving home. But either you're going to leave home or you're going to push for legislation like this immediately. Otherwise, it's oversauce. Okay? Let's see. The boop information on the identification cards prohibited. First of all, that's great. So any identification card. First of all, over here in Iowa, they don't have stickers on their cars. You know, that's like something so foreign to a New Yorker like myself. But this is great right here. The state or any political subdivision of the state shall not include on an ID card issued by the state or political subdivision information regarding whether the holder of the identification card has received a boop for you-know-what, as defined in section. Did we get another one right here, by the way? Yes, Dev. Dev says, please talk about the New York lawsuit thing after YouTube part of the stream. Okay, D, we will do that. When we leave this, we'll go over to Rockfin Live and we'll discuss that lawsuit and the madness here, okay? That's absolutely, we're going to do that. Thank you, D. Thank you for the support. Okay, so that's great, okay? Now, proof of boop boop, denial of state grants and contracts. I like it. I like it. Okay. Notwithstanding any provision of law to the contrary, a business, I like that too, or governmental entity shall not require a customer, patron, client, patient, or other person who is invited onto the premises of the business or governmental entity to furnish proof of having received a boop for you-know-what, as defined in section 686D.2, prior to entering the premises of the business or governmental entity. Lovely. We need that. Okay, this section does not prohibit a business or governmental entity from implementing a boop screening protocol that does not require proof of boop for you know what. I don't like that. Let's say this right here. I don't like it. I don't want to fill out a questionnaire. Okay, I'm done. Okay, this is still. Oh, I can hit you with the temperature. Okay, so I don't like it because that's kind of how they segued with the Clear Pass over in Florida, right, with DeSantis. Because if you didn't want to do their little training app, your slave training app, you go to a tent and go through a process. No. And I'm going to tell you why after we get out of YouTube, because we have real solutions on this channel that we can't talk about here. Solutions that don't involve lockdowns or crazy screening. Oh, let's go back there. Notwithstanding any provision of the law to the contrary, grants or contracts funded by the state revenue shall not be awarded to or renewed with respect to a business or governmental entity that violates subsection 1 on or after the effective date. That is good, though. That's putting it to the wall that say none of these apps. No. Okay? Let's see. Business means a retailer required to obtain a sales tax permit pursuant to Chapter 423, nice, a nonprofit, or not-for-profit organization or an establishment which is open to the public at large, or where entrance is limited by a cover charge or membership requirement, but does not include a healthcare facility as defined in section 686D.2. See, even with that health facility thing, I don't love that. I don't love that. Okay? I don't love that. Does that mean, you want to make BOOPs mandatory for health personnel? It certainly isn't the case from what I understand here, as I have talked to nurses, etc., on the Iowa side of the Quad Cities where I live. And they are obviously, there is no mandate here for anything. And really, inside at least this person's healthcare facility, it is also not mandated. Government entity means the state or any political subdivision of the state that owns, leases, or operates buildings under the control of the state, or a political subdivision of the state, but does not include a healthcare facility as defined. So all this healthcare stuff is a way to go around it, but at the same time, it's not like they're going to call these businesses or ballparks, etc., or public places healthcare facilities, hopefully, right? I mean, come on. And we're talking about immediate importance, takes effect upon enactment. This needs to be enacted this week. All right? But again, this is so much better than, I don't even know that DeSantis, what he signed, is as heavy as this. By the way, only 58 thumbs up. Let's get the thumbs up over there, guys. So, this bill relates to proof of BOOP for, you know what? The bill prohibits the state. And by the way, it should be anything. It shouldn't just be for that. It should be anything. Period. Just put it on paper. They don't get any of your medical records for any reason. We already know this. We are secure in our persons and property by the very document that actually binds our culture across this country. Right? Right? The Fourth Amendment, for those that don't know. Come on. Let's go. Let's see what we got here. We got another tip. This is, what do we see? Chris Cakes. Chris Cakes said, managed to escape forced quarantine after 2 negative tests and travel and safely found refuge in Latin America. Please pray for the future of my country. I mean, are you in Canada? Is that what the deal is, Chassis Cakes? I guess we'll go look when we get over to Rockfin after this bill. The bill's almost done. And then we're going to read that lawsuit for DJ. Okay? So, let's see. So the bill prohibits the state or any political subdivision of the state from including an identification card issued by the state or political subdivision, information regarding whether the holder of the identification card has received, yes, we know, the BOOP. The bill also prohibits a business or government entity defined in the bill from requiring the customer, patron, client, patient, I like the patient part, okay, or other persons who is invited onto the premises to furnish proof of having received a BOOP for C-19. We got another one right here, and this is Jim Garrison. See, sometimes it comes up and sometimes it does not. This watch is old. About the BOOP, what about it? Let's see. Avoid. Well, I can't. I'm not giving any advice here. We'll talk about that on the other side there, Jim. Okay? The bill makes any business or governmental entity that requires such proof ineligible to receive the grants and contracts funded, etc. It does not prohibit a business or government entity from implementing a BOOP screening protocol that does not require proof of that. All right, so that's it. That's the entire bill. You saw it. You know which parts I disagree with and I don't care for. So, if you are on YouTube right now, thumbs it up, subscribe, share, join the Burmese Brigade. We're still trying to grow on this platform. We want people to watch cat videos and my buddy say JP over at Healthy Junk Food and Giant Size McNugget and Taste-alongs and video game tutorials to watch this channel too. So go make the free Rockfin account. If you want to financially support me, YouTube, down below at Jason Burmese, that's the Venmo. We're doing a Mother's Day picnic at Bettendorf, Iowa, Crow Creek Park. It's free. Come on down. Mother's Day picnic, noon to 5. Handing out food. We want people to be people again. Okay, that's a real thing. I'm going to be doing more on that today. In fact, after this video, I'm going to be reworking this graphic, putting some things out, and maybe have peopleforpicnics.com up and rolling so we can start getting the word out. But if you're in the area, we'd love to have you. And I'm actually going to be calling fights here in the Quad Cities, in Davenport, Iowa. Caged Aggression, come on down. Please come. Another great event for community, a live audience, and you're starting to see that more and more, right? Because there are real solutions that don't involve tyranny. So at Jason Burmis is the Venmo, jasonisvoid@yahoo.com, that's the PayPal. But again, premium subscriptions at Rockfin, and just making that free account so you can come on over and we can read this together would be great. Guys, I love you over at YouTube, but we are now exclusive